Family, what it do? It's your girl Toot, and I am back, Jack. Shout out to the squad, man. I love y'all with my whole heart. Thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. Listen, like, comment, share, and subscribe. That's all you got to do to support the channel, and it's free. It's free. Quit acting stank. For real, and just do it. You feel what I mean? Look, we're about to get into the rest of these transcripts, you dig? We're going to be talking to, we're going to be looking or reading the transcripts from Jarvis's daughter. Now, it seemed like he deals with a whole conglomerate of women. Because this little girl's name is Alici Dinwiddie. Now, I'm going to call her AD. All right? Because I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right now. I don't want to keep fucking it up. And I will butcher her name. So we're going to call her AD. So if people see me saying, who is AD? This is not Martin Luther King's son. All right? AD is Alici Dinwiddie. Okay? And this would be Jarvis's daughter. Okay? So that's what we finna do now. We about to get into that. It's pronounced Alicia? See, no. You ain't finna get me like that. You mean to try to tell me this shit is pronounced Alicia? Why she gotta be different like that? Why the mama had to be different? See, this is what I'm talking about. I know how Alicia is spelt, and it's not spelt like this. This shit look like a drink that you get from Starbucks. Alici Dinwiddie. So it's Alicia. All right. And mama named her Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. The fuck? So Alicia. See what I'm saying? Y'all tell me I'm on Alice. Nigga, I know when I go to Starbucks, I get a Alice, a caramel Alice, Trust Alice. Y'all get one of them bitches? Don't y'all get a Trust Alice? Ain't that a chocolate? Man, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, man. This shit don't look like no Alicia. Come on, man. The fuck you talking about, bro? Anyway, listen, we finna get into this transcript. The fuck y'all. Talking about Alicia. Shit, ain't no damn Alicia. Oh, fuck. Hey, hold on, y'all. I done fucked up. Talking about some damn Alicia. I know an Alicia when I see one. Shoot. Shit, me. Alright, here we go. Let me get back to where I was. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's get it. So, this is Jarvis's daughter. Jarvis, I'm sorry. You telling me to hush. Hell, no, I ain't hush. That nigga said, let it roll off your tongue. Alicia Dinwiddie. You feel me? Alright, look, let's get into it. Here we go. Good afternoon, Miss Dinwiddie. Good afternoon. Would you state your name for the record? She says, my name is Alicia Dinwiddie. Thank you. Tell me how old you are. She says, I'm 20. And when is your birthday? April 27th, 2004. Okay, and Mrs. Dinwiddie, do you know the reason you're here today? She says, yes. And what's the reason you're here? And she says, him. She has an attitude with this nigga. She don't like her daddy. And I don't blame her. I don't like that nigga neither, Alicia. You feel me? She says, and what's the him? And you pointed and you said him. Who are you? Who are you pointing at? My dad. All right, I know I'm laughing, but do you understand how fucking crazy that gotta be? For as kids and shit, we associate monsters with like the most evil people in the world, the boogeyman's. Can you imagine these daughters that's on the stand, the boogeyman being their dad? When I think about my dad is like the greatest man I ever known in my life. He was like a superhero to me. And, thank God, you know what I'm saying, I never had to experience what some of these people had to experience when it comes down to their dads. And I just couldn't imagine the man that I love so much also being responsible for the reason why I hate so much. You know what I'm saying? So let's just first of all be blessed for the ones of us who didn't have to experience some of the things that women had to experience, because that's fucking horrible. She says my dad, and the question, okay, what's your dad's name? She says Jarvis Butts. Okay, and you see him in the courtroom today. Yes. What color is the color clothing he's wearing? She says green. Miss Ripley, in your honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant that so many people was acting like they didn't see. You feel me? The court reflected it. And what's the reason that you're here for your dad? Well, really not for him, but what he did to me. Okay? And what is it that he did to you? I guess you could say molested me. And when you say molested, tell me what you mean by that. I like what you mean, tell you what I mean. What did he do to you? He touched my vagina, gave me massages, then tried to gaslight me like I didn't know what happened. And I didn't speak on it until I was 20 years old. Okay. And there's tissue next to you if you need them. Okay. Okay. Tell me how old you were the first time something happened. I was 8 years old. Okay. And tell me about the time when you were 8. It was the first time I met him. This motherfucker was so sick that he couldn't help himself. You know, some men want to meet their children for the first time because they never had a relationship. And it could be coming from having bitter baby mamas or whatever the case may be. Nigga might have been locked up. Nigga, the first time you meet your child, the only thing you could think about is touching her. It pisses me off so bad that people in jail ain't fucking him up. You know? I just don't get that part. It was the first time I met him. He had just got out of jail, and I was happy because I thought I was going to meet my daddy. And he was supposed to take me to Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. So he had his sister come get me from my mom and drop me off to him. I think it was his sister. He told me to change because he said he had some clothes for me to put on to wear to Chuck E. Cheese. And I went and changed. And when I got out the shower, he lotioned my whole body down and gave me a massage. I guess you can say, well, yeah. Okay, so you said you were 8 years old. And do you remember where you went to see him, where you took a shower and he lotioned you? Do you remember if that was in the city of Detroit? I know it was in the city of Detroit, but he goes through a lot of women. It was a random woman's house. Again, we have a woman who's just complicit to this type of shit. You feel me? Shit I just don't understand. But let's keep going. To me, it was a random woman. Okay. So when you were 8 years old, tell me, did you need help showering at all? No. Okay. When I was 8 years old, I was very independent because it was only me and my mama. And my mama don't have hair like me or none of that. So I have learned how to do my own hair. I had to get myself dressed. Okay? And did you need help putting lotion on after a shower at all? No, ma'am. Okay. So tell me when you get out the shower, where do you go? When I got out the shower, it was already, I don't know who room it is because I don't know who house it was. But he was already in the room and the clothes and stuff was on the bed. And he had just got the lotioning my body up. Okay. So you go into the room and he's in the room. Yes. Is there anybody else in the room? No. Okay, and there's clothes on the bed. Nodded head. Yes. Listen, you guys. I'm a daddy's girl. And I would never, ever, ever not want a father to be in his child's life. But there's red flags, women, that we have to start learning. If this man has just gotten out of jail, I don't give a fuck what his title is. The first encounters with my daughter, who you just met because you've been in jail, would not be alone. I would not feel comfortable with nobody's sister coming to pick my daughter up, okay, and dropping my daughter off to him. It's just not happening. We got to start doing our due diligence on our end, because anybody who's okay with that type of behavior is crazy. This nigga has been in jail. You don't know him. You don't know him. So I don't understand how a woman can just gradually get a daughter up to a man that's been in jail, regardless of the fact if that's daddy or not. Fuck is wrong with you? My mama was on drugs and didn't allow this behavior. My mama was a full-fledged crackhead. And she asked these questions if anybody's touched us. She would not let nobody be alone with us. These were things that she knew being on drugs. So when people do this weird shit, I don't understand it. I really don't. Is there anybody else in the room? No. Okay, and there's clothes on the bed. Nodded head. Is that a yes? Yes. What does he have you do? He didn't have me do nothing. I was just standing up. Okay? And he just lotioned my body while I was standing up. Okay? My whole body. All right. And what parts of your body are we talking about? Every part of my body. Okay? And girls kind of have two areas that are private parts. We have the top part and we have the bottom part, which is a front and a back. Well, I guess you can say my bottom part, because I was young at the time, I didn't have a top. Okay? So you said that he went all over. So did he, first of all, was he rubbing lotion on you with? So did he, first of all, what was he rubbing lotion on you with? Okay. I think it was like Johnson, like some Johnson & Johnson, like the baby lotion. I meant, what part of his body was he rubbing lotion on you with? Oh, his hand. His hand, okay. And tell me, where does he start with this? Cause I can remember, he just grabbed my arm and started from my arm. And then he was like, did my whole body. Like turned me around. He was doing it to my bottom part. Okay. So he started with your arms and then went to your top part. He started with my arms and just lotioned my whole body. Okay. Does this include what would be like your chest area? Nodded head. Is that yes? Yes. Okay, tell me about what do you feel him doing to your chest area? He was just rubbing lotion on me, but it's wrong. Okay. And the other parts he touched, you said that at the time you really didn't have a chest. So it was really the bottom parts for you. Yes. Okay, tell me about where he rubbed on the bottom parts. I guess you could say like my butt cheeks. He just grabbed my arm. I told you, he started with my arm and he just lotioned me down. Mind you, this was my first time meeting him. So he just turned me around and just lotioned in my, that's weird. Okay, so he does your butt cheeks. Does he do the front part of your private area? I don't remember. Okay, all right. Does he say anything while he's doing this? No. No. Do you say anything to him while he is doing this? No. Okay. What makes him stop doing this? I just put my clothes on. He told me to put my clothes on and said it was time to go to Chuck E. Cheese. So you lotion her. You think she needs help with being lotioned, but then you allow her to get dressed by herself. Somebody please make it make sense. All right. I just put my clothes on. He told me to put my clothes on and said it was time to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. About how long does he take doing this to you? I don't remember. I just know it was wrong. And I knew he was not supposed to be doing it. So when I got back home, he was calling me, calling on my mama's phone, trying to talk to me. And so I wouldn't talk to him. And my mama was wondering why I wouldn't talk to him. Okay. Did you tell your mom what happened at that point? No, I was scared. Mamas, if you just sent your daughter off with her father and she gets home and all of a sudden a man that she wanted to meet so much, she no longer wants to talk to you, I please ask for you to probe a little bit deeper. Okay? Probe. It's a problem there. If she had a great time with her dad, she would have skedaddled to the phone to want to talk to her dad immediately. The same way that I did when my dad called. If she has a tendency to not want to do this, I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, dig a little deeper, okay? Something is not right. These are the cue cards that we should pick up on as women. You feel me? I do not have one child, but I know if I had a niece, which I do, in this type of behavior, I would see. And I would be like, hey, something ain't right. That's my job. That's our job as being women, grown women, okay? Do not wait for these babies to come to y'all sometimes. They're scared. They don't know what's going on. They probably don't even know that it's wrong that's going on. So you have to probe, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay, I didn't grow up like that. I had even though he was a deadbeat, I got a good mama. So I never grew up seeing stuff like that. So I didn't know how to explain it to my mama. Okay, and tell me, is there another time that something happens with your dad? I guess this is the second and last time is the time you could say. He can't gaslight me into not thinking what happened this time. Okay, I was like 10 years old. Okay, so what happens when you're 10? I never told my mama what happened the time before. So I had got suspended from school. My mama didn't have nobody to watch me. So she sent me to go be with him. He was living with this lady named Gwen. And yeah, so back then I was probably like 10 at the time. And my mama used to buy me these little onesies, these pajama onesies. And I would have my pajama onesie on, went to sleep in it. And then he woke me up out of my sleep and told me to go change out of my onesie into this t-shirt that he had in his hand. And when I went in the bathroom and changed out of the onesie into the t-shirt, I came back in the room and laid down with him. And I went back to sleep. And you know how somebody would play with you in your sleep? Like you would feel them in your ear like this or something. He was doing that to my vagina when I woke up and I was crying. Now, this is probably the third or fourth time we heard this same behavior. So many people said when they was touched or found out by Jarvis, this is what he's doing. It's sickening. It's so sickening to me. He was doing that to my vag when I woke up and I was crying. Okay, so we're just going to backtrack a little bit. You said you went to stay with your dad at somebody named Gwen's house. Not stay, visit while I was suspended. Visit, right, okay. Was that in the city of Detroit? Yes. Okay, and you had on a pajama onesie and you went to sleep. Nodded. Is that a yes? Yes. Okay, where were you sleeping at? I was sleeping in the bed with him. You were sleeping in the bed with your dad. Yes. Okay, was Gwen in there at all, if you know? I don't remember. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I really don't know where the lady was at because she was on an oxygen tank. She was very old. You know what I noticed with Jarvis? Jarvis likes to date inadequate women. And I'm not trying to be funny. He likes to date women that are not the best looking. He likes to date women that is less fortunate because those women be so happy to be with a man like him. It's almost like they're flabbergasted. You know what I mean? They never would have experienced, and I mean, we got to be real. I can't stand him, but Jarvis is not an ugly man. All right? He's not an ugly man. To me, the nigga look like Michael Ealy. When he have his haircut, he looked like Michael Ealy. And the thing about it is, these women, they be so happy to have him as arm candy. Let's be real. The same things that men go through. They could be the ugliest man up under the sun. Big, thick, fat, all that stuff. And they'll have a woman on their arm that looks very great. And they're so happy about it. You feel me? They're so happy about it to where this woman can pretty much do whatever they want to do to him, to them. You feel me? And just the fact of the matter of that man being able to call his woman theirs, make them be able to get away with murder. And this is the same thing that Jarvis does. And that's the reason why he gets away with a lot of stuff. He goes for a lot of women with low self-esteem. People who just don't believe or don't feel highly of themselves. We see this, and it's terrible, bro. It's so terrible. Gwen damn near about to die. Gwen on a whole tank. So it's not like she just happy that he's there. So he's probably just getting out of jail, sugar mama type shit. You feel me? Let's be real. We seen this before. We know what this is. So let's not act crazy and naive now. So that's probably what Gwen was. You dig what I mean? Okay. She was on the oxygen tank. She was very old. Okay. So you going to sleep. You remember your dad being there. And now that I think about it, I think she used to sleep on the couch because she couldn't walk around. Okay, all right. So Gwen would have been on the couch. Probably okay. But you definitely remember you and your dad in the bed. Those are facts. Okay, all right. And you fall asleep, and then he wakes you up and has you change. Yes. So this man makes her go get out the onesie because he don't have easy access, and put on a t-shirt to where he would. Okay. All right. And then you go back to sleep. Yes. All right. When you change into this shirt, are you only wearing a t-shirt then? I had on t-shirt and I had on panties. You had on panties. Okay. All right. And you end up going back to sleep. Yes. All right. And when you wake up, you kind of wake up to the feeling of something. Yes. And where do you feel something at? She says, my vag. And what is it that you feel at your vag? I feel like somebody playing with me. Like, I don't know. Like somebody like trying to touch you, but trying not to wake you up while he touching you. This man has a certified problem. Okay, and do you know what part of him he is using to touch you? He's using his hands. And I actually woke up in case. Like, he tried. Like, I woke up way before I woke him up. Like, I woke up way before I woke him up. Because when I woke up, when I felt it, I sat there and stared at the wall for a couple of seconds, then started crying. Okay? Does he say anything when you wake up? When I woke up, he just was acting like he didn't know what I was crying for. Like what I was upset for. Okay? All right? And is there anything else that happens that time? No. Everything else did not happen. But that did happen. This is my first time talking about it. When I confronted him, it's not like he did not know. I said something to him about what happened like a year later. Okay? Tell me about that. He was sitting in the car. I think the girl that was just in here before me, it was me, him, Paris, her mama, and them. They went in the store when we was at Greenfield Plaza. They went in the store. And everybody around us, like, they always used to be wondering, like, why did I act so weird towards him? Like, growing up, I really did not like him. And nobody could figure out why I didn't like him. But I never told nobody. I don't understand how people who would see that type of behavior wouldn't understand that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. I know there's a lot of women that's in this chat right now. Wouldn't that strike you as odd if a little girl just was really standoffish with her dad? I mean, wouldn't that? Would y'all send him with somebody like that? Send them with somebody like that? I mean, wouldn't that be weird? I just think that would be such a red flag to me. I would be looking like, girl, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And that would stick out. And I watched so many movies to where, like, I would just automatically go there. Like, is he, you know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, so we were sitting in the car. He just brought it up and asked me why I be acting so weird towards him. I told him, you don't remember what you did to me? You looked me dead in my face and said I don't remember doing that. But if I did do it, then I'm sorry. Nigga, what? Okay, all right. Miss Ripley, nothing further, Judge. The court crossed. Can I just have one moment, please? Okay. Good afternoon, Miss Dinwiddie. Hello. So you have a lot of animosity towards Jarvis Butts, right? I have no animosity towards nobody in this world. You don't have a problem with Jarvis Butts? No, I don't. You can. It's okay. It's warranted. You don't feel angry towards Dad? No, that's not my dad. Well, damn. Do you feel angry towards Jarvis? No. When you were young, was he around for you? No. He wasn't really there, right? Nope. I met him when I was 8, and you didn't know him before that, really. I mean, I knew the stuff that people used to be telling me, like a person, but not in person. Yeah, well, I guess I did know him before he went to jail, but I didn't remember. Yeah, you didn't remember that. So the first time you remember him was when you was 8, like you just said. And he was not really a dad to you. Nope. He didn't buy you things you needed. Nope. He didn't spend time with you like other dads might with their kids. I didn't want to spend time with him. I didn't like him. He didn't go to events with you from the school. Never. And you would stay with him occasionally, but only for a short time. I only stayed with him only one time in my life, and that's only because my mama's house went into foreclosure. And I didn't stay with him. I stayed with Tigger, which is the girl who came here before me, mama. Okay. So the places you might stay at, places where he was living, I guess. But only for a short time, like you said, I guess. And that was the longest, right? That time. Yes. So just 2 months was the longest. Yeah, about. And sometimes you might stay somewhere he was living for like one night only. No, I wouldn't say sometimes, because after the first incident, I really didn't like spend a night with him. Tried not to spend a night with him because it was just like I was scared. Okay. I only spent the night with him when I had to. Okay. Which is when my mama sent me to live with him. Okay. So one time, one night, one time, a couple of months. Okay. And like you said, a lot of different times in your life, these weren't even really his homes. The nigga ain't never had a home. That's what I'm starting to notice. He never had a home. Okay. Like you said, a lot of different times in your life weren't really his home. No. There were different women's home. Yes. A different woman every time, really? Yes. So a lot of different women. Yes. And you were sometimes moving around too. I don't know what you mean by that. You were going to these different women's homes, like one time to Gwen, one time to Tiger. Yeah. And these were nearby, right? As in nearby my house. They were in Detroit. Oh, yeah. And you lived in Detroit too. Yes. So they were maybe not too far away. What is that, a yes? Oh, yes. Now, for the people who've been following me doing this Naziah Harris case from the beginning, we went on Google Maps. And there was a very short trajectory to where all of his girls stayed. Okay. Balfour, Bedford, all of those areas are relatively close. He can get to there from the shops. He can walk. He was in walking distance. And it's crazy to me how these women was trying to act like they did not know of the other woman. They definitely knew. They were very naive. And I mean, the fiance, first of all, I don't even know how the nigga could have a fiance. This woman testified that she would witness him get out of his truck or see his truck 2 blocks over, but he would swear to God that he would walk from the shop. Now, any woman who would be naive to that fact and still say or feel comfortable with this man being around your kids, something is wrong with you extremely, and you probably should seek some mental help. And I'm just being honest, and I'm saying this in the most polite way ever. You was watching this nigga play musical cars, and y'all act like y'all didn't care about it. Those would have been the biggest red flags that I've ever seen in my fucking life. You dig what I mean? Because why are you doing that? And if you're doing that, first of all, I'm not going to be in competition with no other woman. But to find out that this man was fucking with children, something is really wrong with y'all. And I keep stressing this fact. Because see, Jarvis ain't just a monster here. These women was just as complicit. The Tigers, the Gwens, the Felicias, the Angelas, the Renees, all of them from around the way. No, I'm just being honest though. All of these women were aggravating. Was that a yes? Oh yes, thank you. But the last time you really seen him, not just like seeing him today, but like spent time with him, that's when you were 10. Yes, ma'am. And today, now you're 20. Yes, ma'am. And you think he's a deadbeat. I think he's a deadbeat. Yes, I know he a deadbeat. That's what he is to you. He's only doing for the kids whose mama he can still talk to. Yeah, so that's a deadbeat. Yes, he is, in fact. And he's really not a dad to you, like you said. He's really not. He's nothing to me. And like I think you already said today, but you don't even call him dad. I don't call him nothing. I don't talk to him. If you do call him something, is it just Jarvis? Nope. So you don't want to know what I call him. And yet, even though he's no one to you, right? But he has the audacity to pretend that you're close. He always do that. I just want to say this 20-year-old has more heart than Shannon, Annette, Gwen, Tigger, all the rest of the females that he dated, because she's taking a stance. Some of you women was already knowing what this motherfucker was. Y'all was. And y'all was still putting up with it. Still letting the man go in and out of your house. Still boyfriend and girlfriend in this nigga. Still letting this little dude, letting this dude take your daughters to father-daughter dances. Y'all are sick. If she has the courage to be able to do it, then what's wrong with y'all? I really want to know, what is wrong with y'all? But he has the audacity to pretend that y'all close. He always do that. And he doesn't even know you. He don't know me. He doesn't see you at all. Last time he seen me when I was 10. But he do got the audacity to try to make it seem like we close. He would stalk my social media pages. Screenshot pictures of me. Make it seem like he's doing this for me. I don't know this man. Yeah, he makes these Facebook posts, right? Yeah. And in these posts, he pretends like you're close to him. Yes. He calls you his daughter. 318. Yes. Says he loves you. Yes. Says happy birthday. Yes. That's not correct. No. He does this for public persona. Women love a man that loves their kids. Let's be real. We see this shit. We love it. We see it in the media now. Men could be the most trifling people in the world. Their character could be trifling. But they'll say, and I quote, one thing about him is you can't ever say he ain't a good dad. Let me tell you something. Part of being a good dad is being a good man. Y'all can miss me with that bullshit. I'm sick of y'all giving these men so many passes to do shit that they supposed to do. What is wrong with y'all? It's like men get rewarded for doing the bare minimum. Where the fuck did that start? A man has the same responsibilities as a mother. When the fuck? You know, and I don't get it, because see, men let women know immediately. When they're not a good woman, then they're not a good nothing. At least they take a stand on something. We as women are just naive than the fuck. I've never heard of no shit like that. Part of being a good man and being a good father is being a good man. You can't say a man who beat up on his fucking wife is a good man. You feel what I'm saying? Because y'all think that he's a good father. He's still a bum ass nigga. And that's just the key point of it. I wish I don't understand. I mean, when the fuck did we start that? Huh? And I see it a lot. I see it in the Boosie comments. One thing about Boosie, he love his kids. For real? He do? Because it's the same Boosie that let a grown woman sleep with his 13-year-old son. But see, we're mad at Jarvis about it. We're mad at Jarvis for sleeping with 13-year-old daughters, but then we reward this nigga because little boys ain't supposed to be gay. So we let a grown woman touch on the 13-year-old and he's rewarded? For the fuck? Women, y'all are some ass backwards ass people. I'm sorry. Oh, y'all aggravating as fuck to me. Because I ain't never understood no shit like that. But let's keep going. That's not correct. You're also seeing him not being be very willing to support your mom. I don't know what you mean by that. So when you were 10, you were living with your mom. Yes, ma'am. And at that time, her house went into foreclosure. Yes, ma'am. And you and she both really didn't have somewhere to go. I guess you could say that. And you were not able to go to your grandparents, right? That was too crowded. Yes, ma'am. Grandmamas, y'all just as wrong. Don't get me started. Yes, ma'am. So you went to your dad's. You went to Mr. Butt's place. Yes, ma'am. But your mom went to the shelter. Yes. And let me tell y'all something about grandma's house. Because she's saying grandma's house was too crowded. I bet you all grandmama's deadbeat ass sons was living there. See, you'll let your sons stay there for free, but you'll let your daughters go to a shelter. Let me tell you why. Because it's learned behavior. It is. Yo, women is to be fucked up to women. It's just the fact of the matter. And it started in the house first. Your first op sometimes is your mama and your grandmama. I know it's hard to swallow, but that's the facts. You know what I mean? The first op you will have will be your mama and your grandmama sometimes. But they'll let the boys stay there. They'll let the grown ass men's, the Lamonts and shit stay at the house. But they'll send their daughters to a shelter. And their kids and shit. So you went to your dad's. You went to Mr. Butt's place. Yes, ma'am. But your mom went to the shelter. Yes. He did not say maybe she should come here too. He never had his own house. He never had nothing. So he wasn't able to be there for her. No. At a time when could she depend on him to be there for her? Though, that's the thing. My mama I met him when I was 8. My mama was already doing what she was doing. She didn't need no help from him. Yeah, but she did. She did end up in a shelter. She didn't have someone else to give her a home. Yes. And Mr. Butts also hurt Tiger. She was just like the second mom to you. She still is. Yeah. So at the time your mom's house was in foreclosure, like we said, you moved into Tiger's, right? Yes. That's his girlfriend at the time. Yes. So you knew she went by the name Tiger. But do you know her real name? Lucretia. Do you know her last name at all? Bryant. And is that when you became really close with her? When I moved in with her? Yeah. Nope. So you've been really close with her? Yes. Already at that time? Yes. And she became like her second mom. Yes. And her children were like siblings to you. Yes. Actually, you're even still close with them today. I am. That includes her child, Paris Bryant. Yes. You two are still close. Yes. Still in touch? I wouldn't say still in touch because Paris not my age. I'm 20. If anything, I see Paris through me being close with her big sister Ariel. But that's still my little sister. Sure. In touch like you speak. And you spend time together. No, we really don't. What this attorney is trying to do is trip her. She's trying to make Paris' testimony void. And the reason how he's doing that is he's trying to make it seem like Paris heard certain things from Alicia. And that's the reason why her testimony. See, I'm happy that both of the women understood what the fuck was going on and still answered honestly, because that's how certain statements and testimonies get thrown out. He's trying to establish that she was coerced, in other words, okay? And you still spend time together. No, we really don't. Okay, so you have contact more so. We see each other and speak through each other through passing whenever we see each other out or through like the older people. Okay, so some contact though. I wouldn't say that though because I know who Paris is. Today was Paris's first time seeing me since she was 4 years old. You haven't spoken to her before that. I don't speak to her. I just know that's my little sister. Okay, so you're standing next to her, but you don't say anything to Paris. What do you mean today? When you see her sometimes through family, like you said, I said I would talk to her through Ariel and them. Okay, I can't see her in person. Why would I see her? She a minor. Okay. Today was my first day seeing her since, well, I guess she was at my prom send off. Was that the last time I seen her? What was that? My prom send off. Okay. She was there. Yeah, but she don't remember me. Okay. So that was the first time you seen her in a while. At prom. Yes. Okay. And you're saying you only have contact through other people, not directly. I would say through other people, either through Tiger or Ariel. Okay. But going back to when you were with Mr. Butts and Tiger at the same time, you did not like how he treated Tiger, right? No. No. And earlier this year, you decided to talk to the police about these things that you're saying happened. I guess so. They decided to talk to me. I've been spoke on this. Like, it's not like this is something that's just coming up now. Like, I've had conversations with him in my older years. Like, I told him to his face. Like, we got Facebook messages from 2 years ago. Like, I've talked to him to his face. He know how I feel about him. Like, it's not no secret, and he's been doing this to people. So to focus on police, though, the first time you spoke to police about this, the first time I spoke to police or anybody in my life about it was this year. This year. These are events what happened while you were 8 at the youngest, right? Yes, ma'am. And when you were 10, yes. So that's 9 to 11 years ago. Yes. And the first time you ever spoke to police, that's this year on April 11th. Yes, ma'am. And it wasn't just that in-person interview. You also called them the morning beforehand. That's what it said. That's what it said I did. Did you do that? I don't remember. I probably did. Just a phone call? You said I called the police. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I probably did. Okay. And then you came in person. With my mom. And then you said you're 20 today, but you were still 19 at the time. Is that correct? Yeah. You said it was April what? Do you believe that it was on April 11th? Yeah, because that was right before my birthday. My birthday is April 27th. I turned 20. Okay, so you were 19 years old. Yes, I was. Okay, so before that conversation with police, at that point in time, you were aware of accusations that others were making about Mr. Butts that had to do with Naziah Harris. Yeah, I was aware of the Naziah Harris situation. Those accusations were very public. I was aware about it before it went public, before they even named him as a suspect. Let's stop right there. I love the fact of how she's standing her ground. But if she knew about Jarvis Butts and Naziah before it even went public, that means Shannon, Annette, Tawana, a lot of other people probably did too. Even if it was through the rumor mill, you was hearing about certain shit. So that is what baffles me. That a lot of grown people in this day and age saying they didn't know shit. Really? I was aware about it before it even went very public. Before they even named him as a suspect. Okay. But you were also aware after it was public. I was aware about the public after I had already talked to the police. This just started getting big until like just now. Like I've been seeing. You didn't already follow the news before you talked to the police. I didn't know about no news. I just knew that she was missing. And when the police came and talked to us about it, that's when they said that they think that he might have something to do with it. I never thought that. So going back to these incidents you described now, when you were 8, you say that's when Mr. Butts put lotion on you. Yes, ma'am. That happened after you got out the shower. Yes, ma'am. And at that point in time, you said you didn't tell anybody, right? No. You didn't tell a teacher? No. Not a school counselor? No. It don't matter. The counselors don't be at school no way. Shit. When Naziah tried to go to them, they wasn't there. No other school employee? No. Not your doctor? No. Babysitter? No. Any other aunt? No. Uncles? No. Siblings? No. I don't have any of those. The court. I think she stated she didn't share with anyone. The witness. It was mainly just me. The court, 1 second. The witness and my mom. the court one moment. Okay. I think she's clear about who she shared it with by Miss Butler. And then you said when you were 10, that's when something happened while you were asleep. Yes, ma'am. That's when you were sleeping just one night at the woman's Gwen's house. I don't know how many nights it was because I was suspended, but it ended up being one night because of what he did. So you were just there for one night. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And when you say you were suspended, what school were you suspended from? Comforts Elementary. I was in 5th grade. So you said one night. So does that mean that the following day is when you will return to your mom? I don't remember. I don't even remember when I talked to my mama after that. Because when I woke up crying, I told him to call my mama. He was acting. He was telling me my mama wasn't answering the phone. I don't know. I don't remember when I talked to my mama after that. But all I know is I didn't tell nobody because I didn't know how to tell nobody. But I did say something to him about it. And now you see what he did. Okay. So at that point in time, your testimony now is that that's not what you told your mama. I didn't tell my mama nothing. And that's true as well. At the same time, you didn't tell any other adults. Yes, ma'am. Or even people your age. You didn't tell friends. No. And then that was later that same year is when you spent some time again, that longer period, right? Living with Mr. Butts when your mom's house was in foreclosure. I believe so. But I honestly couldn't tell you the timeline. But I believe so because it was like, yeah, I believe so. It had to happen. And it had to been because I was still going to the same school. Same grade even? I don't know. Yeah. But I was still going to the same school. Is that a school that ends after 5th grade? No. It's a school that ends after 8th grade. Okay. But you were still there. So that's when you were with Tiger. So was that just the 3 of you living there? You, Tiger, and Mr. Butts? No. It was all Tiger's kids and me and him and Tiger. And after that, your mom got out of the shelter, back into a house, and you moved back with her. Yes, ma'am. What I'm also noticing about Jarvis, he loves a house with a lot of kids. He just get his pickings, don't he? It just seems like the same type of setting that he had with Shannon. And he's so familiar with doing this thing to children that it's just baffling to me. Yes, ma'am. And that's somewhere in the time period, that's the first time you told your mom. No, my mom is just not finding out. Like how y'all just not finding out? Okay. You never shared this with her back then? No. Okay. I probably should have. Not sharing it, my mama thinks she failed as a mother. Okay. So just going back a little bit to that first time, right? You said you were going to Chuck E. Cheese. Did you say that was the same day that you were reconnected with Mr. Butts for the first time? That was the first day I met him. I had always been like, he called home from jail. My mama would let me talk to him. That was the first time. Me not going off of what people say or like any memories. That was me. Yeah. The first time meeting him in person. The first time in person. So the very same day that you met him in person, that was the day you went to Chuck E. Cheese. Yes. Okay. But I think we supposed to be going to Chuck E. Cheese. The girl he was with, she had a daughter. And we was all supposed to be going somewhere together. And I think it was Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. Did you not end up going? I don't remember. I just remember like after the stuff happened with the lotion, I remember when I got back home, I told you he was calling my mama's phone, trying to talk to me and stuff, and my stepdad. They were trying to figure out why I was being weird to him. Why wouldn't I talk to him? Why I didn't say nothing. Do you know who else was with you when you were planning to go to Chuck E. Cheese? He didn't introduce. Every time I seen him, I seen a different girl. I don't know. I don't know that lady. Okay. Do you know about how many people are around? You got that lady. You got, I'm not even about to sit here and do that for real. It was so many people. He'll be having people who I don't even know, like in person. Like he'd be doing weird stuff, like people showing me like, I know you, like through your daddy. I don't know him. Okay. So lots of people were there before you even got in the shower. Do you mean like at the house? Yeah, at the house. Oh no. At the house, it was just the lady whose house it was. Me, him, and her daughter. Okay. But I don't know where they was at because when I got in the shower, it was just me and him at the house. Okay. You're not sure they were around. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. They probably was. I don't know. Y'all need to find them. Amen. Cause see, this is the thing, and I agree with her. Because why aren't y'all asking Gwen's and everybody like that? Now, there's one person that might not be here, and that was the lady that was on oxygen. She might not be here still, cause she was saying that she was older. But where's these other people for real? Cause y'all do need to find them. Do your jobs, Detroit. Do your jobs. You feel me? Okay. So he gave you that outfit, and that's when you went and got in the shower. No, I had gotten in the shower first. And when I got out the shower, he already had the outfit on the bed. Okay, so you got out the shower, and this is when you stayed in the bathroom, or you said you left the bathroom. I left the bathroom and came in the room that he was in, and he took my arm and began lotioning my body down. When you say the room he was, do you remember what the room that was or where? I can only think it had to be their bedroom, whoever he was talking to, the lady bedroom. Sure. So you went from the bathroom to the bedroom. Yes. Was he already there when you got there? Yes. He was already sitting on the bed. Okay. So you got in there, you're dressed in a towel at this point, and he's there. I was in a towel, but I don't know why my memory just popped in my head. I don't know if it was before or after he did what he did, but I definitely was in a towel. When you say it was before or after, what is it? What do you mean? Oh, because I remember like a memory just popped in my head. Like, I don't know if he did this before or if he did this after, but I remember him walking in the room while I had a towel on and he was eating pizza with a fork. So maybe you're not sure if he went to the bedroom first, but no, I'm sure I went into the bathroom. I mean the bedroom, and he was already sitting down on the bed. I just don't know. Like, it's like I don't know. I don't know if I don't know where them people was at. That's what's in my head right now. I don't know where the lady and her daughter was. I couldn't tell them people. I couldn't tell them people name, but I bet my mama know who it was. Okay, but then going back to the second incident. So you were at Gwen's, and it was just the three of you at the time, right? Gwen had a daughter. Yeah, was her daughter around? Yeah, because we need to talk to Gwen's daughter. Because Gwen was the one that was on oxygen, correct? So it don't seem like she was really able-bodied. Where's Gwen's daughter? Could we find Gwen's daughter? Like the fuck? Gwen had a daughter. Yeah, was her daughter around? Yeah, when I was over there. That was my first time meeting her daughter. I think she was there too. Okay, so it was you, Mr. Butts, Gwen, and her daughter. Yes. You said Gwen slept on the couch. Yes. Do you know where her daughter was? She had her room, her own room. Yeah, I think it was like a 2-bedroom apartment. She had her own room. Okay, so a 2-bedroom apartment. That means there's a room where Gwen sleeps on the couch, one room for her daughter, and then she slept on the couch. She slept on the couch because she couldn't make it to the bedroom. It sounded like she might have had like lung problems. My father had that, like COPD, so he couldn't even make it from the bedroom to the bathroom sometimes, and he was on the highest level of oxygen ever. So they would have a hard time walking like 10 steps. And it sounded like that's what Gwen might have had. So yeah, it would probably be easier for her to sleep on the couch. You know what I'm saying? She slept on the couch because she couldn't make it to the bedroom, right? Yeah. So one separate bedroom for her daughter, and then the second bedroom, that's where Mr. Butts would sleep. It really was her bedroom, but he didn't. He came home from jail and moved in her house, I guess. So that means you were alone, the two of you in the one bedroom. Yes, we were. Do you know if the door was shut? I don't remember. I was asleep. So when you had on the onesie, that's when you fell asleep, right? Yes. And when you were awakened again to put on the big t-shirt, did you say you left the room and went into the bathroom? I did. And then you came back to bed. Yeah, after I changed into the t-shirt. He didn't go with you to the bathroom. No. Okay. So you went alone to the bathroom and he stayed in the bed. Yes. Okay. So just one last thing. When you spoke to the police for the first time back in April, did you end up ever speaking to them in person again? Did I ever end up speak? I remember I spoke. I seen them one time in person. Me and my mama came to the where they have you. We came in some building. Yeah. And they had to sit down and have a talk. And that was in the conversation you said maybe we'll come back the next day. I don't remember. You were planning to at least call somebody later. Or I believe it was probably a male detective or something. But I'm not sure. Do you think that ever happened? Obviously because I'm here. And did you have a second conversation? I don't remember. Okay. Ms. Butler, I have no further questions. Thank you. The court, any redirect? Just briefly, Judge. Ms. Ripley, Ms. Dinwiddie, you said multiple times that you did not like your dad growing up. Never liked him. Okay. What's the reason for that? He's just weird. Like when he first came home from jail, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was really excited. Like because I used to talk to him on the phone all the time. And when he was up into getting out of jail, and when he came home from jail, he just did that. He was just like the lotion situation. It was like, that was a weird to me. And I didn't know how to express it. So I started not liking him. And he just used to always do a lot of weird things. Like a lot of weird things. Okay? So you're not liking him. Your dad started after he rubbed you down with lotion. Yes. Okay. Nothing further. Ms. Dinwiddie was done testifying. Just make sure you watch your step. And then they pretty much left off from there. Now, this is sad on so many different levels because this nigga was sick. He has an issue. And it goes all the way back. It goes all the way back to when we had the first interview with his first victim when he was younger. He's always had this sick fetish. And it's nothing that nobody can say to me. It's in him. They had some arguments after it, the court. After the witness got off the stand, it's what you call, can you begin your bind over? Okay, so they had a bind over argument. And in that argument, I'll let you guys peruse through it. Judge, the people will move to bind over the charges on the complaint and warrant. I'll reserve any argument for rebuttal. Ms. Butler, Your Honor, we will object to the bind over. The prosecution has not met the probable cause standard for first-degree criminal sexual conduct. It has not been established the necessary element of penetration. So starting with Michigan Model Jury Instruction 20.1, this establishes in the required elements for this crime, this has to include entry into the individual genital opening or anal opening by defendant's penis, finger, tongue. We do not have evidence of that here. Further, looking into the statutory definition of sexual penetration, this includes a relevant part, any intrusion, however slight, of any part of a person's body or any object into the genital or anal opening of another person's body. Moreover, the case law is relevant to this establishes the same. An unpublished case, People versus McNeese, the Michigan Court of Appeals held that victim's description of events did not support the trial's court finding of digital penetration. There, the victims described that the defendant's hand was rubbing on her vagina, but she did not describe an intrusion. And the court reasoned that there must be a penetration. Rubbing one's hand over another's vaginal area does not suffice. And the court quoted a published case, also from Michigan Court of Appeals, People versus Payne, where the court explicitly wrote first-degree sexual conduct requires penetration as opposed to mere contact. Here's the thing. Sometimes the prosecution do, in fact, get greedy. Okay? And that's why I wanted to bring up penetration and the different forms of penetration. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to establish that this cannot be first degree if nothing broke through. Okay? But here's also the thing. These were young ladies who was very small, very young at the time, who don't remember a lot of things. So their idea of what penetration may have been could be lost. And that's just a fact. Sometimes the prosecution gets so hungry to where they will try to press certain charges that cannot be won in court, even if there was a guilt of him touching her. Now, here's the thing. We've seen it with George Zimmerman. They tried to go after first-degree murder, okay? First-degree murder has to be proven without a shadow of a doubt that George Zimmerman woke up that morning and says, I'm going to unalive Trayvon. That is something that cannot be proven in that particular case. They can't prove it. Second degree sometimes will carry almost the same amount of time, but it's also very essential to winning a case. When they did the first degree murder, you know what I mean, they failed Trayvon. That's just all I can say about it. They failed him in his entirety because you also have something now called double jeopardy, to where now he cannot be tried again for murder. So when they tried to go, or if they should have went after second degree murder, or even manslaughter and things like that, that would have been some type of things to get Zimmerman off the street. This is what frightens me, and this is what I've been saying from beginning of this whole thing, the case with Naziah. Sometimes prosecutions think that they have overwhelming evidence that is going to win. People have to understand laws, and people have to understand the courts. And I believe once you do that, these type of things won't piss you off as much, because they did not establish that. And that's just a fact. We know that he's a sick fool because we know that Naziah was penetrated. But when you call in these type of witnesses from 10 years ago, 13 years ago, babies who don't have a big recollection. Sometimes when people get hurt, they want to push that shit so far off their brain to where they start painting their own reality, right? They start painting their own reality to where these women probably might have had a finger in them. But they try to push it so far down to where they don't understand it. And that's why when you're going after first degree anything, is very, very hard. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to be very mindful of that. A hand rubbing on the vagina wouldn't constitute as first degree child abuse, especially if you look up what that statute, what that means. There has to be penetration. And this fool, listen to me, y'all. This fool has been in trouble with the courts to know that. He knows that. He knows that. He been knowing that. And here's the thing. The people around him that are what he is knows that. So he knows exactly what to do to try to straddle that line. He knows how to bring a child out and lotion her down, and he's touching her, but he's doing it in a way to where it's even confusing to the child. It will even be confusing to the mom. Man, I just got out the tub and I was lotioning her down when I ain't supposed to lotion her. See what I mean? These type of things are so fucking sick. And when you have people like Jarvis who've been in court in and out and been going through these type of things, they know how to get away with shit. That's why a lot of people were saying there's no way that Cordell could not have known. Yes, it is. When you have a nigga like him, he knows how to fly up under that radar. It's sad as hell. But y'all stay tuned. Hold on one second.